Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we begin this touching story, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss another inspiring story. It was a cold autumn evening in Chicago. The rain had been falling steadily for hours, and people hurried along the sidewalks, trying to escape the weather. Inside a small family restaurant near downtown, 35-year-old Daniel Carter sat quietly at a corner table with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Daniel had been raising Lily alone ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier. Life had not been easy. He worked long hours as an accountant, cooked every meal, helped with homework, and tried his best to be both a father and a mother. Despite the struggles, Daniel and Lily shared a beautiful bond. Every Friday evening, no matter how busy life became, they visited the same restaurant together. It had become their special tradition. "Dad," Lily said with a smile, "can I order chocolate cake tonight?" Daniel laughed softly, "Only if you finish your dinner first." Lily giggled. As they waited for their meal, the restaurant door slowly opened. A young girl, perhaps 9 or 10 years old, stepped inside. The entire room seemed to grow quiet. The little girl wore old clothes that were clean but clearly worn out. She walked carefully using crutches. One of her legs was missing. Rainwater dripped from her jacket as she nervously looked around the crowded restaurant. Some customers glanced at her for a moment before returning to their conversations. Others avoided looking at her completely. The girl swallowed nervously. There wasn't a single empty table. She hesitated near the entrance as if considering whether to leave. Daniel noticed her immediately. He also noticed the sadness in her eyes. The little girl slowly moved between the tables. Many people looked uncomfortable. A few customers quietly turned away. Finally, she stopped beside Daniel's table. With trembling hands and tears forming in her eyes, she softly asked, "Excuse me, sir, can I sit here?" Daniel looked up. For a brief second, he saw fear, loneliness, and embarrassment written all over her face. The restaurant became strangely silent. Several customers looked toward them, waiting to see what would happen. Lily looked at the girl and then at her father. Without hesitation, Daniel smiled warmly. "Of course," he said. "Please sit with us." The little girl's eyes widened. "Really?" she whispered. "Absolutely," Daniel replied. "Everyone deserves a place at the table." The girl slowly sat down. Tears immediately rolled down her cheeks. Daniel gently handed her a napkin. "It's okay," he said kindly. "You're safe here." The little girl tried to speak but struggled. Finally, she managed to say, "My name is Emma." "I'm Daniel," he replied, "and this is my daughter Lily." Lily smiled brightly. "Hi, Emma." For the first time that evening, Emma smiled. The waitress approached. Daniel noticed that Emma kept staring at other people's food. "Emma," Daniel asked gently, "have you eaten dinner yet?" Emma lowered her head. "No, sir." "When was the last time you ate?" Emma hesitated. "This morning." Daniel's heart sank. Without saying another word, he ordered a warm meal for her. When the food arrived, Emma looked shocked. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. Daniel smiled. "Tonight, you're our guest." Emma stared at the plate for several seconds. Then she quietly began eating. Lily happily talked with Emma while Daniel listened. Soon, Emma began laughing. For the first time in a long while, she looked like an ordinary child simply enjoying dinner. But Daniel sensed there was much more to Emma's story. After dinner, Daniel gently asked, "Emma, where are your parents?" The smile disappeared from Emma's face. She lowered her eyes. "My mother died 2 years ago," she said softly. Daniel remained silent. "And my father," she paused. "He left." Lily looked heartbroken. Emma continued, "I live in a shelter now." Daniel felt an overwhelming sadness. No child should have to endure such loneliness. Just then, an elderly woman rushed into the restaurant. She looked exhausted and worried. "Emma," she cried. Emma immediately stood up. "Miss Sarah." The woman hurried over. Turning toward Daniel, she said, "I'm so sorry." Emma wandered away from the shelter during the storm. "We've been searching everywhere." Daniel nodded reassuringly. "It's all right. She was safe with us." Miss Sarah thanked Daniel repeatedly. Before leaving, Emma looked back. "Thank you for letting me sit here," she said quietly. Daniel smiled. Anytime. But just as Emma turned toward the door, Lily suddenly spoke. Dad, can Emma come with us again next Friday? Daniel looked at Emma. Emma looked hopeful but said nothing. Daniel smiled gently. I think that's a wonderful idea. Emma burst into tears. Hello everyone, welcome back. If you are enjoying this emotional story, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and press the notification bell for more inspiring stories. The following Friday arrived faster than anyone expected. All week long, Lily could not stop talking about Emma. Dad, do you think Emma will come? She asked every day. Daniel smiled. I hope so, sweetheart. Friday evening finally arrived. As usual, Daniel and Lily walked into the restaurant and sat at their favorite corner table. Lily kept looking toward the entrance every few seconds. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Emma still hadn't arrived. Lily looked disappointed. Maybe she forgot, Lily said sadly. Just then, the restaurant door opened. Emma walked inside with Miss Sarah. The moment Lily saw her, she jumped from her chair. Emma's face lit up with happiness. The two girls hugged each other tightly. Miss Sarah smiled warmly. I haven't seen Emma this happy in a very long time, she told Daniel. Everyone sat down together. This time, Emma seemed different. She was smiling more. She looked less afraid. For the first time, she looked like a child who belonged somewhere. During dinner, Daniel learned more about Emma's life. Emma had lost her leg in a terrible car accident when she was 6 years old. Her mother had died in that same accident. Afterward, her father had struggled emotionally and financially. Eventually, he disappeared completely. Since then, Emma had been living in the shelter. Daniel listened quietly. His heart grew heavier with every word. No child deserved such pain. After dinner, as they prepared to leave, Lily suddenly asked, Dad, can Emma come to the park with us tomorrow? Daniel looked toward Miss Sarah. Miss Sarah smiled. If Emma would like to go, I think that would be wonderful. Emma nodded excitedly. The next day became the beginning of something special. Daniel and Lily picked Emma up from the shelter. At first, Emma felt nervous. She had never spent time with a real family before. But Lily quickly made her feel comfortable. The girls spent hours laughing, playing games, feeding ducks, and eating ice cream. Daniel watched them from a nearby bench. For the first time in years, he saw pure happiness in Emma's eyes. As the weeks passed, their friendship grew stronger. Every Friday dinner became a tradition. Soon, weekends together became normal. Emma even started calling Daniel whenever she needed advice. One afternoon, after spending the day together, Emma quietly asked Daniel, Mr. Daniel, can I ask you something? Of course, Daniel replied. Emma looked down. Why are you so kind to me? Daniel smiled softly. Because everyone deserves kindness, Emma. Emma remained silent for several seconds. Then she whispered, no one ever told me that before. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He realized just how lonely Emma's life had been. Several months later, Miss Sarah asked Daniel to visit the shelter. There, she shared surprising news. Emma may be moved to another city, she explained. Daniel was shocked. Another city? Miss Sarah nodded sadly. The shelter is overcrowded. Some children must be transferred. When Lily heard the news, she burst into tears. You can't take Emma away, she cried. Emma was crying too. That evening, Daniel sat alone in his living room thinking. He thought about Emma. He thought about Lily. Most importantly, he thought about family. Suddenly, an